This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Police encountering challenges in probe of Gabriel King's murder. Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of crime Fitzbilly has said investigators are encountering major challenges in the probe of 9-year-old Gabriel King's murder in St. James. Gabriel, who was autistic, was killed during a reported carjacking in Montego Bay last Thursday. It was reported that hoodlums dragged Gabriel's mother from the vehicle, hit her in the face, and drove off with the child. But DCP Bailey on Friday told the news that investigators are not getting cooperation in the probe. A team of investigators from Kingston was sent to St. James to assist with the probe into Gabriel's death.
I know that the officers are coming up against certain resistance. It's not one of those. It is proven to be very difficult in terms of some of the things that you expect would have been just, normal. The police have to be doing some extraordinary situation to get the support that they need. But the investigation is ongoing, and we are going to ensure that we get to the bottom of it.
2 fatally shot in Dunkirk, Eastern Kingston. 2 people are confirmed dead and 2 others are nursing gunshot wounds after gunmen fired on people attending a wake in Dunkirk in Eastern Kingston. A female is among the deceased. Residents in the area said the shooting happened sometime after 8 o'clock in a section of the community called the Red Ground. Police are yet to determine the motive for the shooting. There is a strong police-military presence in the area. Major gun bust at the Sangster International Airport. A major probe is now underway following the seizure of 20 handguns and 40 magazines on Friday afternoon at the cargo section of Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay, St. James. Senior Superintendent Wayne Cameron, head of the Ports Division, told the news that the weapons were seized about 3:30 p.m. The news has been informed that a customs broker is being questioned in connection with the shipment. The police are still searching the cargo area at Sangster International. Current COVID-19 surge could last longer than expected, said CMO. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jacqueline Besesa McKenzie says the current COVID-19 surge in Jamaica could last longer than expected if infections plateau. Speaking during a media conference on Thursday, Dr. Besesa McKenzie noted that Jamaica is not yet at the peak of the 4th wave, but she noted that many are mistakenly expecting new cases to begin decreasing after the country gets to the peak.
When we peak, it does not necessarily mean we're going to take a short time to drop. A lot of people seem to think that we can plateau for a while, especially because of the things that you say in terms of the number of unvaccinated persons. When we see that we have the densely populated areas like St. Catherine and Kingston and St. Andrew having large numbers, we know that the potential for exposure is great. And so those parishes tend to take a longer time to settle down and kind of stretch out the surge because it just takes longer to get those numbers down.
Scots Hall Maroon leader addresses exclusion of Occompong chief from talks with the government. Leader of the Scots Hall Maroons, Colonel Lloyd Latibaudiere, says efforts were made to include Occompong Maroon Chief Richard Curry in Friday's meeting with the government. The meeting with Prime Minister Andrew Holness involved Colonel Latibaudiere, Colonel Wally Sterling, who heads the Moortown Maroons, and Colonel Marcia Douglas, who is the leader of the Charlestown Maroons. During an Instagram live session on Friday morning, Chief Curry suggested the meeting was held on the condition that he was excluded. But Colonel Latibaudiere told the news he understood the Prime Minister's decision to leave out Chief Curry.
The Prime Minister had said that he did not want to meet with Mr. Curry right now because of the tension in here and the disrespect. And I think he has a right to defend that. So in our stand now, we had another meeting, which was last night, an emergency meeting, to also let him know that we may still have to go because somehow we have to start dialogue. The thing is that we need dialogue. We must have dialogue. And the Prime Minister called this meeting, as a matter of fact, and set his protocol of how he wants to meet. I think we were obligated to do go along with that in some way until we can set our meeting, which I think will be the next meeting of how we would like to speak, because Corey has to speak about a compound town, on his own. We cannot decide what goes on there or what is his issue. We know what the issues face all of us, not just Maroon Town, but Jamaica. But for sure, we want to make sure that we are about not just the Maroon Town, but we're talking about Jamaica.
Police imposed curfew in St. Andrew North Division. A curfew has been imposed in sections of the St. Andrew North Division. The curfew began at 6 p.m. Friday and will remain in effect until 6 p.m. Sunday, January 23, the Jamaica Constabulary Force said. The boundaries of the curfew are as follows. North from the intersection of Wayne Drive and Plum Lane to the intersection of Wayne Drive and Wayne Close. South from the entrance of 44 Whitehall Avenue to the dead end of 44 Whitehall Avenue 200 meters. East from the intersection of Wayne Drive and Wayne Close, traveling along Wayne Close onto an imaginary line through premises in Collins Close onto 44 Whitehall Avenue 350 meters. West from the dead end of 44 Whitehall Avenue to the intersection of Wayne Drive and Plum Lane 150 meters. During the hours of the curfew, all individuals within the boundaries of the curfew are required to remain within their premises unless otherwise authorized in writing by the ground commander. Family mourns the shooting death of young woman. A grieving father yesterday lamented that Jamaica's crime problem turned up at his doorstep, snatching his beloved daughter who was killed at the hand of a gunman inside a shop at Royal Plaza, St. John's Road in St. Catherine. The victim, 24-year-old Shireen Stevenson, would have celebrated her next birthday on March 6. Anselm Stevenson, father of the deceased, told the news that Shireen's death was unexpected. "Me a rip up inside. My brain out of this world now, believe me. This is not something that was expected. Me know crime and violence turn up in a Jamaica way up, but when it reach a doorstep, it not reach certain people doorstep yet for them to realize what are going in a Jamaica," Stevenson said. He said Shireen, his first daughter, was very jovial, independent, and was the envy of many growing up. Stevenson said his daughter always had the latest in female trends, and growing up in the ghetto, jealousy played a major factor. Shireen was inside the Izizi lottery store and the bar operated by her mother when a man entered, ordered a drink, then asked for her. The news understands that another woman who was offering service felt uncomfortable and was hesitant, but Shireen, who was on her phone, appeared from under the counter to see who wanted her. The man opened a fire, hitting her in the head. The gunman escaped on a waiting motorcycle. Shireen's childhood friend told the news that the now deceased last posted to her WhatsApp at 10:38 saying, "To be honest, this Shensia song is mad annoying." She was then surprised to learn that approximately 10:45 a.m. Shireen was killed, noting also that bad mind and envy could not be ruled out. "She is nice to talk to. She is the only child for her mother, so her mother spoiled her, so she basically have everything she wants. People always want in an argument with her. People bad mind and envy her for things," the friend who requested anonymity said. Shireen's father said he introduced her to events promotion, with entertainment being her foray as a sound system operator. Is her mother's shop and she don't normally there at the shop, but because the mother had other things to deal with today, the mother asked her to come by the shop, Stevenson said. A policeman who was nearby said he heard the explosions and thought it was the backfire sound usually associated with motorcycles. Shireen's mother, who rushed to the scene after she learned of the attack, sat in despair with a depressing look as she was being comforted by relatives. Family members screamed and some fainted as the news sank in. The St. Catherine North Police Division has seen an 80% increase in murders since the start of the year. Statistics posted on the Jamaica Constabulary Force website indicate that as of January 15, 9 murders were committed, compared to 5 for the corresponding period in 2021. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.